Hey everybody, I just wrote a new poem and so I'm just going to read it out loud for the first time and then you can all hear it for the first time. It's called A List of Facts. I read that the sun makes a sound but we can't hear it. I read that grasshoppers have ears on their stomachs and existed before dinosaurs did. I read poems I wrote a decade ago and winced at how cheesy and stupid they were. I read a birthday card from my son cover to cover, all 9 words of it 10 times in a row. I read that bananas might go extinct or are radioactive. I read that Dr. Kevorkian used to kill people with potassium and that bananas have a lot of that. I read a text message over and over again when it hit me that I'd never get a text back from that somebody and wondered if I should have written something else or sent something funny. I read that comets can smell like rotten eggs. I read that snails have thousands of teeth. I read wedding vows and I read separation and joint custody agreements. I read bedtime stories for years and asked what book I should read tonight at bedtime only to be told that you'd rather read to yourself because you're bigger now. I read there's no flavor without saliva. I read that lasers can get trapped in water. I read how lucky I was that I didn't die that time I fell through the ice as a kid and lost my running shoes and flannel coat. I read books that wasted my time and books that wrecked my emotions. I read that a cloud can weigh about 1,000,000 pounds. I read that rats can laugh if you tickle them. I read poems to packed rooms and had people tell me they cried and other people tell me that they hated me. And both surprised me and made my insides read far too into both conversations. I read lyrics on the internet that I thought I knew and meant so much to me, only to realize I was getting them wrong the whole time. I read a book at the beach on a park bench next to the boardwalk as people walked past and the sun hurt my skin and the wet outside of the plastic iced coffee cup left a crop circle on the thigh of my jean shorts. I read a poem I wrote about being a dad to my son and he laughed a lot and he said he loved it. He told me it was great, but he only really understood parts of it. And I said, so do I, but I was chipping away at it and learning as I went along.